going on, my friends? Sean Pierce Johnson here, and welcome back to Stompbox Saturday. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. As for the day that I'm filming this, it's a rainy California day. We don't get those too often around here. The doomy and gloomy nature makes this the perfect day to demo this little off-white box of chaos that we have on the Stompin' Block today. It is the Octavio Octave Fuzz from MXR. If you have heard Octavio and you're thinking to yourself, where have I heard that before? You have heard it before, and it's because this is basically a new version of the Jimi Hendrix signature Octavio fuzz pedal. So what they've done is they've taken that wonderful sounding octave fuzz and they've put it in an MXR size pedal, no bigger than a Phase 90 or Distortion Plus, and we have it now for all our pedal board friendly needs and wishes. So let's go ahead, throw it up on the screen, take a look at the pedal's controls, and talk about some of the quirks and features of this particular iteration of the Octavio. Built into it, we have true bypass switching, which is very important for a lot of us guitar players these days. And on the side, you can use your center negative 9-volt power supply plug and get power to the pedal from your power supply, whether it be a Voodoo Lab or a Strymon or a Dunlop DC brick, what have you. Basically, it's all the things that we as modern guitar players need, which is fantastic. Vintage tones in a modern package. It's quite a concept, isn't it? The two controls, very simple. Output and fuzz. Output is going to give you the output volume of the pedal, as you might think, but it does something a little bit different too. And then fuzz, that generates your distortion, that generates your clipping, your fuzziness, the saturation of the effect. Now, one of the things that I find with these particular types of fuzzes, octave fuzzes that is that people will plug into them for the first time and just immediately start going for it, not really understanding what these pedals are really all about. They're quite quirky. And so I hope today in this video that we're going to demystify some of those quirks and myths and confusions related to an octave fuzz. With the Navigator plugged into the Rockerverb 100, let's listen to all three pickup positions, because our pickup selection with an octave fuzz has a lot to do with the kind of octave effect and fuzz sound that we're going to get out of it. Back to bridge, turn it on, both knobs at 12 o'clock. There you can hear, we switch to the neck pickup and we get more of that octave overtone effect. And why is that? In all my research, nobody really seems to be able to give you a concrete answer. They're just kind of like, well, if you can't hear the overtone on the bridge position, just switch to your neck pickup and everything's going to be okay. The best that I can do to kind of answer this question is whatever harmonics are being generated in the neck position of your guitar, no matter if it's single coils or if it's humbuckers. There's something about this pickup position, wherever it's placed in the whole sum of the guitar, it's just giving the circuit the proper signal and harmonic content to generate that overtone. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn up the output all the way. And obviously, we get a boost in volume, but we start hearing more of that octave effect. I find that the output on octave fuzzes tends to be what you, if you're really after that overtone, that's the knob to pay attention to. We will get a little bit extra from the fuzz control, but that's more about the saturation of the effect. So let's go ahead and turn that. Starting at 12 o'clock, and then I'll turn it full counterclockwise. See, that octave overtone is still there. So the fuzz isn't really the control that affects that sound. It's the output. It's one of those misconceptions about octave fuzzes that not a whole lot of people know about. So if you didn't know it and now you know, you're welcome. It is my pleasure to do so for you. Let's go ahead and turn up the fuzz. Let's start right about there. And there's that beautiful ring mod-esque double stop thing. Sounds great. All right, turning it up more. For the hell of it, crank both knobs. What's it gonna hurt? So hopefully what we were able to show you here is that the controls do not necessarily function the way you might think they do. The octave effect to me is much more controlled by the output than the fuzz. The fuzz is all about that spitty saturation. The output definitely boosts your signal, but at the same time, it feels like the higher the volume control, the more that octave effect comes out. So now that we've heard it with the Navigator, I want to show you how you can get the most out of the Octavio by utilizing humbuckers. Let's check it out. So we were actually able to hear that octave effect with my neck humbucker on my Les Paul. So how do I do that? It's a very fine balance between your volume control and your tone control. So if you're not the kind of player that likes to mess with those knobs, then octave fuzz is probably not the effect for you. Here's basically what I do. I find the setting that I like first and foremost with the bridge humbucker. That gives me that really nice, spitty kind of fuzz tone. Anything more than power chords and it's just kind of sounds kind of doomy, which was kind of cool. So after that, then if I have my volume and my tone knob full up on a neck humbucker, then I slowly start turning that tone knob back. find that the sweet spot for this particular humbucker, the Seymour Duncan Jazz, is really about 3 or 4 on the dial on this particular guitar, and it works quite nicely, I think. Very smooth. Still got the spit, but it's a good kind of spit. Really hangs on too. And then if we further want to shape that, we can utilize the volume control, maybe clean it up a little bit so that that effect can still poke through a bit more. Yeah, definitely works. Let's turn it back more. Yeah, I think that's the sweet spot right there. And there you have it, my friends, the Octavio Octave Fuzz from MXR, bringing a beloved vintage classic into the modern age with roadworthy construction, true bypass switching, and 9-volt power supply input. Really, how much of a stamp of approval can I give it? It sounds exactly like you would want an Octave Fuzz to sound. It has all these awesome features that make it much more pedal friendly than the original, and it's one that you can incorporate into a modern guitar rig without having to, jump through hoops. It's pretty darn awesome. And if you have a vintage Octave Fuzz that you love and don't really want to take it out of the studio or the house, just buy one of these. I think they street for like $129, so it's not unreasonable to go out and buy one of these to place on your pedal board. But as I hinted at the top of the video, Octave Fuzz isn't for everyone. So if you're the kind of player that doesn't like to mess around with fuzz and all of its various different colors, don't go for this. It's not gonna make your love of fuzz grow. As a matter of fact, it might swear you off fuzz for quite some time. But for a player like me that knows those differences and knows those different colors, this is one that I'm very happy to have in the collection. Yes, it can be temperamental with the humbucker and single coil thing, but that's kind of part of the fun of it, is you're constantly exploring with it. and I think that it is one that I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to insert it into the sort of setup that I have going this year. Maybe it'll end up on the main pedal board, maybe it'll just end up on the let's have fun pedal board. But that is just my opinion, and I'd love to know what you guys thought of Octavio. You can let me know your thoughts on the tones that we were able to get out of it in the comments section below. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends. And when you see it, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, turn on the notifications so you never miss a video. But if you'd like to see any of those videos before anyone else in the world, or help support the channel so that the content can keep coming, please consider becoming a member of my Patreon community. You can do so by looking at the description link below. It has been awesome to have you guys spend part of your Saturday with me. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And until next time, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, wishing you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, friends. We'll see you next time.